Hi guys, it's Ruben Marsh from Aerial Drone Solutions, and on our previous episode we chatted about the importance of drone insurance in South Africa, specifically looking at the difference between hobby or recreational flying and also commercial flying in South Africa and what type of cover is needed. So if you missed it, please make sure to check out our social media pages on Facebook, also on YouTube and Instagram, and for more you can also check out our website on aerialdronesolutions.co.za. So for this episode, we'll focus a little bit more about flying abroad and outside of the borders of South Africa. And to tell us a little bit more, I've got the expert yet again, Daniel Blomerus from Unicorn Insurance Brokers. Daniel, good day.
Morning, Ruben.
It's great to chat to you again, and let's dive straight in. I think let's talk about the importance and why it is so important to have drone insurance in South Africa.
Ruben, as we mentioned in our previous episode, you get two types of insurance cover. You get your recreational pilots and you get your commercial operators. For all of them, the main thing that they all have to have is third-party insurance.
Why is that so important?
Third-party insurance for drones is very important because you have to take that factor in what happens if something goes wrong. We all see drones flying and we all see a lot of operators flying, in some cases illegal airspace where they're not supposed to be. But if you take that law into consideration, if anything should go wrong, say for instance you were flying on a park, in an open park, and the drone malfunctioned and something went wrong and it actually flew into a person, what then? So the question also always has to be asked, if I am at a loss and something went wrong, what would have happened?
Daniel, I think we explained it very well in some of our previous episodes, the importance of knowing the rules when flying for recreational or hobby purposes, the rules where you may and may not fly. And if you've missed that, please go and check out our previous episodes. And also it's available on part 101 on the CAA website. It's very important for you to know the differences flying commercially versus flying for recreational purposes. So make sure to go check that out. Let's move a bit towards flying outside of South African borders and getting cover for that specifically. How difficult is that and can it be done?
Ruben, it's actually not difficult. When it comes to flying in South Africa, we all know for a commercial operator, you have to have your ROC, your ASL, all the aircraft need to be listed under the ROC.
Yeah.
But when it comes to flying abroad or outside of South Africa, those rules don't always apply. You do not have to have an ROC, for instance, to fly in Botswana. You do not have to have an ROC to fly in Uganda, Rwanda, and all of that. But you still have to have permission to fly in their controlled airspace.
Absolutely.
So it's very important that people see that if you go and fly outside, you have to have permission where you go. Even if you go and fly in Mozambique and you've got to shoot as a film operator, and you're going to do a movie scene there, you have to have permission from the local CIA in Mozambique to actually fly there. We as a drone broker have insurers that help us to insure our clients abroad. Africa has expanded. There's a lot of work for drone operators. We've got clients flying in the DRC, Uganda, we've got guys in Kenya, Botswana, but all of these pilots, all of these operators are doing it legally. They are getting permission, and the reason we know that is it is part of our rules and regulations or conditions if you take out insurance.
Absolutely.
We as a drone insurance broker and our insurers will cover you abroad, but you still need to abide by the conditions of the policy wording and that you know that you are flying legally.
So Daniel, let's talk about the claims process specifically. Maybe you've got an example of two of claims that you have had to handle.
Ruben, as we mentioned in our previous episode, yes, we have the 2.4 Hilux that I call it the Phantom 4. We've got a lot of claims on that aircraft, and he is our biggest culprit. But our personal cameraman standing behind the camera here had an incident with his Inspire 2 and Zenmuse X5S camera. We're talking about almost 100,000 rands worth of equipment here, and it was not at all his fault. He was flying in a controlled airspace. He had approvals from the CAA, flying under the ROC, and something went wrong and the drone fell out of the sky. It completely stopped and it just crashed. When we went into the flight logs, we actually noticed that in the area that he was flying, there was a lot of microwave beam activities. And in that small incident where he was shooting and filming his shot, he actually passed the microwave beam and it cut the drone out. It lost all power and motor stopped and it just came down.
And Daniel, that is why it is critically important to be correctly insured as a commercial drone operator, because anything can go wrong.
Definitely. I agree with that 100%. For our client, he had proper insurance. He had third-party liability insurance. He had hull insurance. We paid for his craft, as well as his Zenmuse X5S camera, which is 48,000 Rand. But Ruben, to add on to that, you also have to take into consideration the safety aspect that goes with drone operations. This incident was a very scary thing. It was uncontrollable. There was nothing that could have been done. The drone just lost power and it came down. All the safety aspects were in place. Nobody got hurt. But we all know that if there was a situation and something would have gone wrong, he had proper drone insurance and this is not something that you need to take lightly.
I would like to shift towards companies making use of drone operators in South Africa. Why and what is important for companies to know before choosing and hiring a drone operator to fly commercially for them?
Ruben, it's a very touchy subject in South Africa because we all know there unfortunately are a lot of illegal operators out there. So as a client, if you employ a drone operator, you have to check that he's got the proper paperwork in place. Because if it comes to his drone insurance, the drone insurance will never activate or never pay out if anything should happen if that pilot did not have the proper insurance. If you do not have your commercial paperwork, your approvals from the CIA to fly in this area, it could be a disaster. So if you put yourself as a client paying for a drone operator to fly for you, if you put yourself in that space, make sure that he's got the correct insurance. If anything goes wrong, that you will also be covered.
I think there's a lot of people wanting to know, but how can they get hold of you, Daniel, for more info on drone insurance? I'm sure there's a lot of people doing their RPLs now, getting all the certification in place. What do they need and how do they get hold of you?
Please visit our website. There's a lot of content about drone insurance. It's on www.unicorninsurance.co.za. And anytime, if you feel you want to chat, please give me a call.
That's it. Thank you so much. It was really interesting to know about the drone insurance and how important it is. So thank you so much for sharing all your info, all your knowledge with us.
Thank you very much, Ruben.
And that's it for this last episode regarding the insurance of drones in South Africa. And as you heard, it's really important to make sure that you educate yourself properly before flying commercially, and also whether you're flying commercially or for recreational purposes, to have the correct insurance in place. And as Daniel mentioned earlier, you can go check out their website for more info. So please make sure to go check us out on our social media pages on Facebook, also on Instagram, and now also on LinkedIn. And again, if you're looking for a legal drone operator in South Africa, don't hesitate to contact us. Our website is available, areadronesolutions.co.za. All the contact details will be on there. Till next time, see you next time. Cheers. Bye-bye.